Morning. Good morning. How are you today? It's so nice that we're together again. Oh, this is great. Okay, I was going to show you something. I'm just, puttering around this morning and I thought, oh, my house is pretty clean. And then I thought, hmm, maybe I should just sweep the floor. This floor was a mess. But my house is really looking good. But this, I said dried ginger on the title, so I better show you that. So I often have ginger. Hey, wait, turned it around. I often have, turn around. I often have ginger that ends up neglected, and so it turns into this, which is dried ginger. And I have this really cool thing. I got it from Bed, Bath and Beyond. I think they had this, and they had another kind of thing. It was really, really sharp and very good. But anyway, I used this, and I scratched back and forth, and I got that powdered ginger. So if you ever think that your ginger is bad because it's dried up, it's still ginger. Look at that. Anyway, I usually put a bunch of ginger in here. I put some nettles in. I have my jar of nettles over there. So I put a couple handfuls of that in. And also, since our lungs could be affected badly, I have some mullein that I harvested. So I put some mullein in there. And that's really good for your lungs. Our lungs are what we need to have strong and healthy at this moment. All right, so I'm going to scoop that up. So I have to put you down because you can't do that at the same time as this. I was in the middle of sweeping the floor when I thought about, well, actually, it's because the kettle. I put this kettle on. This is my kettle, right? But unless I fill it right to the very top so that when it boils, it spills over, I don't know it's boiling. Because it doesn't whistle, right? So oh, don't touch your face. I have a runny nose. A little tiny bit of a runny nose. Now and then. Anyway, so I was sweeping the floor, which I didn't finish yet, which has got a pile there. And I put the wash in, and I was about to do the dishes, but I thought I should put them away. And then I came over here and saw that this was rotten, and I got rid of part of that. And then I looked to see what I had to start with for my soup today, because there's still some left. It smells good, so I could still add to it and heat it up again and make it beautiful. So I don't ever put meat in my soup, so I don't have to worry about that. People are always worried about things like that, but I don't use meat very much. So, except maybe bacon or sausages. I'll stick them in the microwave. But, it's a rare thing. Anyway, so here's this powdered ginger. Which, you probably would, if you wanted to have it powdered ginger now, you'd probably have to put it in the mortar and pestle and do that thing. Anyway, but I'm just going to put it in here. I wonder if it, I think it tastes stronger when it's dried, right? Like I can't put very much in when I'm using powdered ginger. I can only put in, just a quarter teaspoon or something. Too much and it's too much. Anyway, I'm going to put in some lemon juice too. These are, lemon is really good antibacterial and whatever. Also, it does the pH balance better for you, I think. This is what they keep saying. So I put some of that in. And, I like to make ginger with lemon and honey. But I have nettles, and I think it's important to get lots of greens. Because I'm not going to a store, so I'm not going to go get any fresh greens. Anyway, so there we have it. So now I put the lid on, and we're done. I wanted to tell you something about this. I bought this lemongrass tea, and this is really dangerous because if you happen to not strain it properly, like these little tiny things, I had one go right down my throat. It choked me. It was terrible. So I'm going to grind these up with my blender. Oh, you remember I brought my mother's blender home? Not because it's an amazing blender. In fact, it probably doesn't work very well. I didn't really try it. But the end of it is round, and it would fit on a pint jar. So I can just grind it all up in there, and I don't have to, clean out the whole blender. They're never perfectly round and smooth. I don't know why. But probably because when the stuff goes around, if it has to hit the sides, it changes its direction and it'll grind it up better. That's probably why they're not always smooth. Anyway, I wanted to do that. I don't know if I want to do it right now. Put these things away. I guess I'm just going to let you, I'm just going to finish tidying up here a little bit, okay? Let me just clean up this mess, okay? The mess I'm cleaning. Before, I wanted to go in the living room for some reason, and then I realized that the living room rugs look really clean, and if I sweep this floor, maybe the rugs clean longer. You know, we live in Canada, and we take our shoes off at the door, so we're not tracking dirt all over the house. Which, I can't imagine why people would track dirt all over their house. And doesn't the dirt on the bottom of your shoes, doesn't it scratch the wooden floors? Not that I care about things like scratches. My mother taught me better than that. But we weren't supposed to drag the furniture around. We weren't supposed to hit the walls with our furniture. Sometimes we change, swap bedrooms and stuff. Hey, if your kids are bored, where'd you go? Oh, you're way over there. If your kids are bored, you know what you could do? You could let them swap rooms. Dad'll get them busy. They'll love that. Don't they love that? I always loved it. My sister and I would swap rooms, and my kids loved it. I mean, they were forever swapping rooms. Bunch. I'm messier than I think, Well, actually, I know that I am very messy. What was I just saying? But I think I make more of a mess when I do things than I realize I actually make. Because I don't see it. Okay, then. Fine. Okay, so now, do you mind hanging out while I do the dishes? Would that be okay? See if I can move you over here. Maybe you could catch a glimpse of what's going on. It's so nice to have you back. I've missed you. Okay, so you can only see me if I stand right here, but if I move over there and put this in there, you can't see me. Such difficulties. So difficult. This is the popcorn bowl. You know what that means, right? And these are the bowls that we use for blueberries and for the soup from the Instant Pot. And this drinking glass. We shouldn't really have our drinking glasses in here because the water isn't a good drink. Drinking glasses should be in the bathroom because that's where the water is good to drink. This is my daughter's. It says low battery. Now, why would it do that? Because you're supposed to be plugged up. Usually, I even tried putting some of that dielectric grease on it. It didn't work. Alright, I don't know if it's charging or not, so it may die. I have this silver bag, put it over my teapot. It's my tea cozy. Because it was turning changing color. It's not supposed to change color. Do you always take these apart when you wash them? I never realized you could for a while, you know. And I would always use them for scraping the cookie dough. That wasn't a very good idea, right? Because it was all getting gucky in there. But then I found out you could take it apart. And everybody else knows that, right? Stick these knives down in the knife holder. I'm still not quite acquainted with all the stuff I brought home from my mom. I just dislike that. I mean, why do I do this, you know? Now, if I put this in the reuse, and anybody puts something in the recycle that is contaminated, it's not washed out, then the whole truck goes in the garbage. And if I do put this in the recycle, I've been seeing where things like this go. They don't get just melted down and start over like I thought they would. They go like to be in these huge. They contribute a lot to the pollution out there in the ocean. You know, and you think, well, how in the world is the pollution, how does this get to the ocean from my house? Well, I'll tell you. It gets in a garbage bag or a reuse bag, cycle bag, and it's outside and a raccoon gets it. Opens the bag. The wind comes across the hill. The wind takes things and it takes them down that way, right? Eventually, they get into where there's runoff. You know, if I don't notice it and pick it up, find it, it gets into the runoff, and from there, or it could blow anywhere. But anyway, in the end, things all go to the streams. It will get there somehow. You've seen stuff in streams, right? You've seen broken containers that are pretty old, right? Gets into the stream. And eventually the floods come and go, and either it stays in the stream or it flows. And if it flows, it goes in the rivers. And if it gets in the rivers, it goes in the oceans. And if it goes up in the air, like these plastic bags that fly up into the air, it only takes a couple years before they start to break into millions of little pieces, which fly and go, the direction, and then they end up in the stream. Because the snow covers everything, and the plastic may land on the snow, and the snow melts, and everything flows, and there it goes. So sometimes I think that it might be better, I shouldn't say this because it probably isn't, but I think sometimes, would it be better to put it in the garbage and have it piled into a pile where it's not going to see the light of day again, right? It doesn't matter then if it takes 500 years to decompose, because it's just a hill, it's in a hill. Is that right, or am I wrong? Or is this now contaminating the aquifers? And what do I not know about this? But anyway, so I'm very conflicted about recycling now. I'm so mixed up, totally mixed up. I don't want to contribute anything to that pile in the middle of the thing, middle of the ocean. I think they should build houses on it. I bet they could. I wonder how solid it is. No, it's probably not solid. No, I think it's not. I wonder if it could be solidified. No, heat plastic, it melts. But then, of course, it loses all these terrible pollutants. I don't know. And anyway. Good morning, Tony from Brooklyn. Well, so how is your life different? Are you enjoying not going to work, or are you totally worried about money and that you won't be able to pay? Everybody's got pretty much the same bills, right? We all need to have so much for our food and shelter and clothing and housing and gas and stuff. So we've all got those bills. So when you're shut down like this, what's it like? Like, are you allowed to go for walks? Or are you in an apartment building or something where there's nowhere to go around other people? I was thinking about that. What about people that live in high rises? There's a lot of cities filled with people in high rises. Cabin fever is a big deal. If you make people stay in the house, people are going to get cabin fever. What are you answering now? I'm a homebody. It's not too distressing. Well, that's good. Yes, I like being at home. You know, there's always things going on in the village up the road. I think, well, you know, the fair. I should go to the fair. I should see the horse pull, or I should see the chainsaw competition. Like, this is the stuff in my yard, in my world. Or go to the market and get some fresh vegetables and see what people have been creating. Oh yes, you're an indoor lady. You with your crafts and your dolls and your stuff. And so I end up thinking it would be nice to go, or I get invited to a potluck. And I would think, oh, well, yeah, when I think about all the ins and outs of being there, and do I want to be there? And, you know, and so I've many years just stay home. You know, even Mira, you know, they're not actually talking about something I want to learn about, so I'll leave. What's it say? I was thinking that I should go to some events, and now this happened. Aha. You know, this is the events, I think, is just having live videos with each other, or video conversations, you know, with your friends, and especially your distant family. You know, like, who knows? I don't want to spread fear, but, you know, this time next month or in 2 months, we could be hearing about a lot of funerals of people we know. You know, this could get really, right now, we're in a lull. We just have to stay home. Oh, boring. I love it. Everybody probably loves it, except the stress. People that are stressed. Now, that's people that are really worried. And that was a really smart thing to pay everybody some money, don't you think? Very socialist thing. But we all love it, don't we? I don't think I get any because I'm a retiree on a fixed income. Anyway, but I think that was really good because that will alleviate a whole lot of stress. It's an expensive thing to do, you know, very expensive, but very good. But if they can do things like that, they could do things that are other big things routinely, you know. Not like that, but maybe to do with education. You know, it's really having free education as a child. Like if I had to go to high school, you know, or they had to pay in some places. Say, I can now check out some videos to learn crochet. That's right. That's right. You got to have a goal. That's the thing. I like straws. You know what I save straws for? But straws are a little dangerous to save now. I can no longer pick up straws on the side of the road. They're now potentially death sticks. No, that's a cigarette, isn't it? Death. Anyway, but I use them to make kites. There were some kite making videos I made, but I don't think they're all there anymore. I think there's only one of them there, and I think it's after I made the kite. You could go make kites. What a thing to do with kids. So you take a plastic bag and you cut it in half. And then you put this on one side and put another one on the other side, another one at the bottom, another one up the side, another one up the other side. And then you have to hang a tail on it. Make sure that your tape, when you tape these on, make sure that the weight of your tape is the same on both sides. So make sure you just use 1 inch each time and not get fancy. And make sure everything you do is pretty, you know, that half is symmetrical. Everything should be the same on both sides. And then you have a tail on it. You have to, you know, hang a piece of newspaper or something. A piece of toilet paper. It could be the coronavirus kite. Yes, that's right. And you know, after this is over, can you imagine rolling a house again? Did you ever roll somebody's house when you were a kid? I did. That was the most fun thing ever. Of course, you know, I wonder whose it was. I wonder if it was Becky's. I'll have to ask her. Anyway, this doesn't say. My school's closed, but now we're online. 2 social work courses, lots of reading. I hope I'm being... where'd it go? I'm being too chatty. You hope you're being too chatty? I love it if you're being chatty. Otherwise, what have I got to do? Stand here and make things up. Yeah, it's a lot harder than just having it to respond. Your response is instant. You know what you think about that subject. So anyway, here I am putting the dishes away. Did you know, also honey, did you know that honey is antiviral? It will kill viruses. And antibacterial, so it will kill bacteria. Is it anti-inflammatory? I don't know. Anyway, but when you get your honey, make sure you're getting it from a honey maker, because they add high fructose corn syrup to top it up, you know. If they don't have quite a gallon, they'll top it up with a certain percent they're allowed to add. But if you go to a honey producer that's just a little guy, with a sign at the end of his lane maybe, and you get pure honey. Honey's good. Aren't I on top of things? Do you notice that the washing machine is going? I was going to show you around, but now as I'm just standing here, I'm getting all stiff, waiting for our tea. Then we could go have tea. Won't that be fun? I took a care package to a friend yesterday, and it was really very fun. We met, and she told me to just set it there, inside the garage door. So I set it there, and then she knew she couldn't touch it or its contents for 12 hours. So we just forgot about it. And then she sat over on one side of her deck, and I sat way over on the other side of the deck. We had a lovely conversation. Isn't that neat? Except if we wanted to both watch the birds, we would have had to sit together to watch the birds. And so I had to watch the house, which was, it stunts my conversational ability when I have to look at something flat and plain. Why is that? All right, let's put this in here. Oh, I saw a mouse turd. You know what I do when there's a mouse turd? It was only there once. I took a piece of paper towel and I laid it above my spoons and stuff. And you'll find that if you ever come back, turds will be on top of your paper towel. Nice, eh? You could use a dish towel or something instead if you wish. Done. I have to put this back up. You know, it's so nice to be able to talk to you. Everybody else in the world, they have something that they want me to focus on. And when I can't focus on it, because that's the way my brain is, and I can't focus on anything but what I want to focus on, and I'm so selfish. I mean, I really am. My kids really don't like it. I think about myself all the time. Who does that? Anyway, I try to be different. One day I may be different. Where do you want to sit? Sit up here. See if I can fish you through here. Just a moment, just a moment. Close your eyes. Set you on here. Ah, look at that. Right in the dish rack. Put you here, except that then you'd be too far from your cord and you'd get tired too quickly. What is the plan? I should be today, so I am not the only one up this. So happy you decided to check you, because here you are. Okay, it's, you know, people keep saying do something nice for somebody, do nice things, help people out, and put you in the closet, and then later you can come out of the closet. Okay, there you go. I hope I can talk loud enough. Of course I didn't talk loud enough. Me talk? Of course. See, I've been saving my seeds from my squashes. Some people cook the seeds, but I'd rather plant them. then I'll have more. Then this virus happened, and I went to the grocery store. I bought like 2 of these and 2 of these. Or, no, I guess I got 2 of these and 1 of those and 1 of those, something like that. And that's really been good, you know, because we eat that a lot. And I add everything to dried foods, you know, and I have all this dried food stored. I hope you have dried food stored. I hope you are ready for this exciting experience ahead of you. Okay, let's go back. We had mangoes the other day. Look at that. This was about the only thing left in the grocery store. All the things that were too expensive and that people wouldn't, that were for fancy stuff, right? So, whatever. I got some. Okay, so can you hear me from over there? Just gonna do a little dishes now. Just a few. We don't want to get sidetracked into doing dishes. You know, I mean, I've got my priorities. Gotta have priorities. And you do know, of course, that dust is a protective covering. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Also, speaking of dust, I happened to be out collecting dust bunnies this morning when I realized I could tell you about this. Dust bunnies, or clumps of cobwebs, you know, all that stuff. It's good for a cut, like a cobweb. If you have cobwebs that are full of dust. Now I don't know how that works because isn't dust full of bacteria? But still, it'll stop the bleeding. You can deal with the infection later. No, I don't think it does have bacteria in it. Ask Google. Okay, Google. Does a cobweb contain bacteria?
Here's a summary from the website dailycoast.com.
Okay, Google, turn it up.
Bacteria that make spider webs. Spider web fibers are made of 2 kinds of proteins called spidroins.
Okay, Google, turn it up. Okay, Google, turn it up. Now, should we have her tell that to us again? Okay, Google. Is there bacteria in a cobweb?
Yes. Bacteria frequently mentioned on the web include E. coli, streptococci, staphylococci, and others.
Guess you don't want to put that into a cut. Sorry I ever mentioned it. Okay, Google, are there viruses in cobwebs?
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that.
Good. That means that there aren't. Uh-oh. My avocados. Before I stopped eating avocados because of the deaths and terrible things that are going on with the avocado industry, I've been trying to grow these, but now, of course, all the water's too low. Of course, I should not put that kind of water in. Hey, look what I did. I had a thing of celery, and it was like really skinny. It all shriveled up, and then instead of throwing it away, I put it in here. Look at it. Look at that. Look at this. I can't get it out now. It is totally swollen up in there. Can you believe that? And if I leave it long enough, it'll grow. But I don't really want to have greens. So now I have to stick a knife in and slice one piece at a time. So I was going to fill this up with water, but I want to use water from the not softened water, right? Not softened with chemicals anyway. You know, I realized that if I think I might have put these upside down, you know. I don't know. You never know with me. I don't think they like it if they get drowned or if they get dried out. I really don't think I'm as good a gardener as how you think I am. All right, so what are we doing here? Let's put the ginger back. Oopsie. Okay, you can look if you want. So that's no, that's not mold. That's that's the way the camera is shining on it. It's onions. Anyway, this is fiddleheads and Oh, it's so good. It's lentil curry. But when I made it, it was like lots of water in there, and then as overnight, like then it gets thicker, so it becomes solid. It's also got squash in there, and pigeon peas, which is tur dal dry. What is it? Is that actually split pigeon peas? Yes, tur dal. That's from Jamaica, I think, and then dried onions and curry and stuff. Anyway, hey, let's try blending this up, shall we? Wait a minute, I was going to put things away. Hold on. Let's put that on there. This is my popcorn bowl. And this is the popcorn pot. You see, all you have to do is add a thing of, you have seen it many times. You just add a dollop of coconut oil, put it on medium heat, cover the bottom with popcorn. I put a screen on it because I don't want it to get too soggy, the moisture that comes when it pops. So I always put a screen on it. And then I put my salt on top of that because otherwise the popcorn will push it off. All right, let's put this in the recycle, I mean. And hopefully it'll get to where it's supposed to go. But you never know anymore. Have you watched those videos, documentaries on that? Mullen, very good in these times of disease. Oh, you're not supposed to see how dirty my cupboard is. That's not allowed. You know, this is the fork I use to take the coconut oil out. And this is the one that Willem uses for his sandwiches. You know, and why do we wash them all the time? Why is it always getting washed? Why don't we use the same one over and over and over? And instead of throwing out the rest that's in the can, you know what I figured I could do? Look at this. Okay, see my face? See how wrinkly it is? Look. Truffle oil. Oh. See? Look at that. Can you tell the difference now? Anyway, moistens my skin up. I used to have oily face. I used to have that thing like this, you know. I had oily chin and nose and forehead or whatever, but it's all stopped. Anyway, coconut oil. Look at that, how nice my rouge is. Anyway, so this goes to the bathroom, so I'll use it on my face. And okay, what are we showing you? What were we gonna do? Okay, so here's my for cooking water, and this is my popcorn bowl. And this I was gonna grind up. Let's see if I can do that. Now, where's the blender? I think it's in this one. Haha, look at that. Now, wasn't that a good idea? Okay, let's see if I can find one of those little things to use with it. I wonder if I can mute the sound while I run the blender. I can put my finger over it. Okay, so first we'll take this off, which you should never do when you plugged it in, of course, naturally. Now let's get a little jar. It has to be a canning jar size. Okay. Let's check that it fits. Haha, it does. Has to use the old ones. The new ones are the wrong size. Okay, so, hey, I wonder if this fits. Wouldn't that be cool if that just fit by itself? I have to plug you in again, but I don't think this plug is working. Okay, let's see what we can do here. don't think it does. I think this has a little bit of foil on it, so maybe if I get rid of the foil, maybe it'll fit. That would be the most convenient. Hey, look at that. Oh, I think it's just too big. Okay, so put these in here. Can't put them all in at once because I already feel like it. Okay. This is so dangerous, drinking that. I couldn't believe that when I was drinking it and I had it doing that. Went right down my throat. Okay, now I have to mute you. How can you mute you? I turn the volume right down. Okay, so the volume's off. That's a speaker, so maybe this is the listening thing right here. Put my thumb over it. Okay, let's see what happens. We'll have to plug it in again. Okay. I know, you might wonder, why are we doing this? I don't know. How did I feel like it? You put all the shaken ones down. If you shake things, the top always goes to the big ones always go to the top. Did you know that? Oops. Okay, so let's turn it over again. Except I think it keeps shaking all the little stuff down. All right, I guess it's shaking the little stuff down, so let's turn you around. No, don't look at that. Stop. Okay. Now, you have to lean against it though. Okay. Wrong. Wrong. All right. So let's put some in the. I know what we'll do. We'll take it open and we'll put the stuff in here. Smells like lemongrass. This smells awesome. Okay, then I'll shake it and bring all the big stuff to the top. You probably thought of this already. Wow, that smells good. I know I could strain it, but if I strained it, the little stuff will just go through. Maybe I just do half of it. I'm gonna powder. maybe now I have to sieve it or something. That's a flavoring. All right, what am I doing? Relax. Okay. Is that all right? There. Phew. You don't like getting it. Okay, how about if I use this? Okay. Now, I have to put this all over something. All right, let's see if we can do this. So, lemongrass is different than lemon balm. This needs to go in there. I need another bowl. This is a make work project. Okay, so we'll put you in the bowl. No, we'll put this in the bowl. Put this in here. Let me mess. And then what we'll do here is where's my sifter? Hey, a sifter. I hadn't thought of a sifter. That would work. I don't know where anything is. Oh, here it is. Alright, so I could take this, then I would need yet another bowl. Okay, running out of room here. Alright, so now I'm going to strain this. See how much small stuff we actually have here. Alright, there we have it. So let's just do it on here. You really can't see what's going on there, can you? I'm just straining this. Trying to powder it. Okay, then. My lemon balm. I don't want it to go down my throat in whole pieces, and I can't seem to figure out how to make it so it's safe. Oops. Getting tired of doing this. Maybe I'll just put it away and finish it later. All right. All right, so I have now got some usable lemon balm. Lemongrass. So, okay, here we go. Well, it's much better. All right, I think I'm going to stop because I'm tired of it. All right, so I will see you in a while. Bye. Remember, like and subscribe if you want to be notified of videos, click the little bell.